the last possible off-ramp that the Trump administration, or shall I say the Epstein regime, I love that. That's what Morandi's been calling him. The latest off-ramp that they possibly could have had was the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding that we had with Iran. But we violated it immediately. Like, it never even took effect. So we violated it immediately. And so now, and I had said this then, they're done negotiating with us. So this is how people need to understand how far apart we are from our position is in terms of the Trump regime versus the Iranian government's position. You have to understand how far apart they are. So like Trump's regime, they think that they're still negotiating Iran's nuclear program and how much enrichment Iran can have and whether or not they can have nuclear weapons. Iran is not even going to begin to discuss that with them until their conditions have been met. So now that we violated the MOU, now Iran has come back and said, okay, now we won't even talk to you unless these things, I believe there's 6 points, 6 demands, have been met. So these are not the things that Iran is willing to negotiate. These are the demands that must be met in order for them to negotiate. And they're not playing, and they're not gonna change their mind.
No, they're definitely.
And I am finding it so glorious. And we're going to go over these 6 demands. And I think that it's very important for people to understand that these demands should be the absolute baseline for them to negotiate with us, period. They are 1,000% correct. So we're going to pull up the nice 6 demands of this.
Go for it, Ben.
And technically this is to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. But really, at the end of the day, I don't see a universe wherein the Trump/Epstein regime is going to accommodate these 6 demands. So it's not going to, I just don't see that it's going to go anywhere, but.
Go up.
All right. So here are the conditions.
Go up,
what do you mean? It's fine right there. What are you doing?
Start from the top. President Trump.
Okay.
No, this.
You need to. I mean, I don't feel like we necessarily.
I don't know what you're doing, Ben. Go to the writing.
I just want to go over the 6 demands. Like, I think that's all we really need to do. So just scroll to the 6 demands, because it really doesn't matter what Trump says. This is all what Trump's remarks are. Does anybody care what Trump says? He's talking to imaginary people.
Excuse me. Everybody cares what I say. I'm the man.
No one
I'm
cares.
the boss.
Okay, so these are the 6 demands. And if people thought that the Memorandum of Understanding had any sort of stringency in comparison to our original JCPOA with them, this is even further. This is how serious Iran is. So the first one is never threaten. This is the U.S. shall never threaten Iran with any language or insult the sanctities of this nation. So they're not even going to tolerate us insulting them anymore, which I think is brilliant. Number 2, lift the naval blockade. Number 2, end the war and aggression against Iran and its allies in, all these things are being listed, and keep in mind, this is the second point, Lebanon, Palestine, Yemen, and Iraq forever. In other words, get the fuck out of West Asia. Get the fuck out. Okay. And now this has to be done before they will even discuss things. This is so great. Number 3, lift the naval blockade and withdraw military forces from around Iran. Yeah, that should be a baseline, right? Because we shouldn't be there anyway. Can you guys imagine if Iran had its warships in the Gulf of Mexico and just hanging out right off of like the Baja Peninsula, and they're just, or maybe trying to go into like the Hudson River, just trying to get into our so, okay, that's great. So we're going to get the fuck out of there. Then there's pay the damages of the 2 wars of aggression and imposition on Iran without any reduction. I don't know, any reduction or reduction. I don't know. So they are actually demanding that we pay damages to them for the 12-day war last year and for the current war right now. Now, those damages, my understanding, are going to come in the fees that will be paid through the Strait of Hormuz for our use of it. Like the days of us being able to just use that are over, and they're not coming back. And that is something that this regime can't wrap their heads around. Like they're not negotiating their way back into being able to use that strait for free. Now they have to pay reparations for the damage that they caused. Okay, which I love. Now you've got lift the cruel and illegal sanctions against the Iranian nation, right? Which again, baseline, because they are illegal. Those are illegal acts, according to, again, that we follow international law. And finally, and this is important because this is even more than it was requested in the Memorandum of Understanding, unconditionally release the frozen and stolen assets of the Iranian people. Now they're getting all their frozen assets back. They're demanding all their frozen assets back. In the Memorandum of Understanding, if someone correct me, they were getting a certain amount back. And now they're like, nah, we're not even talking to you until we get all of our property back.
Yeah.
So those are the 6 conditions before Iran will even have a discussion with us. And Trump is sitting there and talking about how he's trying to get them to reduce their nuclear program. That's how delusional these people are.
Well, it's not just about being delusional. It's about basically being backed into a corner and not being able to get out of it. And that's why we'll obviously talk about Netanyahu next. But this is, in so many ways, what we've been saying all along. And even though they don't put it in writing, basically what Iran is telling the United States, it's either Israel or it's your ass. Make a choice. We can't stop Israel from completely spiraling into the hell that they've created for themselves, but we can stop you from going with them. You still have a choice, Trump and administration.
Not really, because it really isn't our choice. It really isn't our choice because Israel's not going to let off of Lebanon. Israel's not going to stop genociding in Gaza.
Then Israel is going to cease to exist.
Well,
so it just
yes, that is happening, but it isn't going to come from we're not. That's the problem. In order for us to have this agreement with Iran, it requires the compliance of another entity that is completely non-compliant. So even if, let's say hypothetically, the Trump regime decided we'll agree to this, which they won't. They're not going to agree to this. And I saw you in the chat. Yeah, there was never really a MOU. It was always just bullshit because they were never going to do it anyway. But this is not going to go away. They're not going to be able to bully their way out of it. I, at this point, don't see any way that they could even save face in any way. The whole world has seen this. We have lost bigly. And now it's just a matter of cleaning up the mess that we made there. That's it. And they're done. They're not negotiating with us. They're so done.
Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi on Sunday said an agreement with Oman to define new shipping routes through the strait was in its final stages, but reemphasized Tehran's call for the U.S. to meet certain conditions. This does not mean that the Strait of Hormuz will be opened, said Araghchi, of the progress regarding a new shipping route, insisting it remains contingent on the fulfillment of other conditions, which have been conveyed to the American side through intermediaries. Ismail Baghahi, spokesman for the Iranian Foreign Ministry, also reiterated several of Tehran's demands, such as the removal of the U.S. blockade and compensation for Iran, during a press briefing today. Scroll, please. The U.S. government continues to proudly go up a little bit. There you go. The U.S. government continues to proudly announce that it is besieging Iran ports and Come on, Ben. Ben, what's going on here, pal?
Yeah, there we go. He's doing it.
Come on, you can do it. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit higher.
Oh, you want me to get a little bit higher? I can do that for you,
Yeah, I'm
Peter.
sure you could.
I can do that.
Now step aside on harassing Iranian ships. In this situation, the U.S. has no moral or legal standing to complain about the Strait of Hormuz not being open. In short, you reap what you sow. Former Secretary of Defense Mark Esper, who served under Trump from 2019 to 20, has referred to Iran's conditions as frankly ridiculous. Oh, is that so? What what amount of leverage do you have? Where's your leverage? More bombs?
Oh, well,
This
and
is
and and therein is the rub, isn't it? Because as people also probably know, simultaneously we're having a serious munitions shortage going on.
Oh, ain't that
And
the
they
truth?
can't keep lying about it because it's like sort of, the jig is up. So, yeah, we're losing bigly. It's glorious.
No, no, we're totally not.
Oh, it's
Uh,
so glorious. So pleased.
it shows that they believe that they have the upper hand. They believe they are winning and they are emboldened, and that's what we're up against right now. In after 5.5 months of conflict, yes, that's correct. Iran should feel emboldened because they are winning. They're totally winning.
They are,
They're
it's
gonna get Jen. Iran is gonna win so much. You're gonna get sick and tired of their winning. Yes, yes, we
It's
are.
well, and it's not even that they're winning. They won before this started. And I've said this over and over again. Our government, our people, our intelligence have no idea what the Iranians have and what their capabilities are. They don't. They have no clue. And the Iranians know everything about what our capabilities are. And they are just running out the clock because they know that we are running out of munitions. And they know that for every missile that they launch, we have to launch twice as many things, receptors, defenders, that cost more money, that we can't replicate fast enough compared to how fast they could churn out their missiles.
Yep.
So again, this is one of those things where it scares me immensely that I'm understanding the math, but people in high positions don't seem to understand that. Like if country A has X amount of weapons and country B cannot defend those amount of weapons, right? Like I don't. What am I missing?
The back and forth over demands and compensation has further tarnished hope for a new deal to be agreed upon. Rosemary Kalanick, director of the Middle East program at Defense Priorities, tells Time that these demands are the equivalent of Iran shooting for the moon. No, again, just be thankful that this is all they're asking for. Trust me, it could be so much worse. It really could. They're
Oh yeah,
going
no. If
to,
Peter and I were in charge of Iran, we would have already flattened Israel, and there wouldn't even be negotiations. We'd be done. We
oh,
would have
straight
nuclear
with
weapons, and we would have already annihilated Israel.
You're like, yeah, figure out another way.
That's the thing. See, I'm not Muslim. I'm not a Muslim, and so I don't have to be like concerned with the religious fatwa and this stuff because they actually have honor. See, the Muslims have honor, and their religion doesn't allow the killing of innocents and striking without provocation. See, they're not allowed to do that, right? So they're very. I don't think Peter and I would be as considerate.
Definitely not you, that's for sure.
Oh,
Kalanick
definitely.
reasons the Iranian Iranian leadership may be factoring in Trump's domestic situation regarding the upcoming November midterms, making them all the more aware of the leverage they have as polls show Americans as feeling uneasy over the conflict and its financial ramifications. Yeah, well, hey, I mean, whatever leverage you get, right? Not to
I,
mention the fact that lawmakers have criticized the resumption of hostilities. And some Republican senators have joined Democrats in an attempt to limit Trump's ability to continue the Iran war without congressional authorization. Iran understands its power to coerce Trump is higher before the midterms than it is after. They're trying to maximize that benefit in the short term and in a way that's still plausible that Trump could get some benefit from making a deal with them in terms of the prices going down and staying low. Kalanick suggests that by going to Trump with some unattainable demands, Iran may be hoping to land some of their more achievable ones in terms of reparations, That's also impossible. Oh, it's impossible. Sanctions lifting, that's a possibility.
Who is this again? Who's saying this is impossible? I'm sorry. Who was?
Some woman who works for the Defense Department, it sounds like.
Okay. Okay. So it's a Defense Department spokesperson.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Fuck that. These are the same people that think that they actually have a chance of winning this still.
Meanwhile, Trump on Sunday said Washington is low-keying it with Tehran. We are only semi-negotiating with them. We are just watching Iran with its huge inflation and the fact that they have no money. They're in very bad shape economically
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
of
That's what they
our
are.
blockade on Iranian ports. Again, this is really an emperor with no clothes type situation here.
It's
The
so
US and
unbelievable.
The U.S. and Iran signed a memorandum of understanding on June 17, which outlined commitments aimed to ensure the full toll-free reopening. Call toll-free 1-800 you're fucked on the Strait as part of the terms for an extended 60-day ceasefire to allow them for technical. Scroll up a little, Ben, please.
Sean Hammer, let me answer this. It is not suspect why Iran has not annihilated Israel. Iran doesn't do that. That's not what they're not imperialists. They have no reason to do that. And right now, Israel is not the one that's attacking them. We are. So even though we're doing it for Israel, Iran actually has honor. So they have no reason to. They would not. They don't go and kill innocents. That's what we do. You're looking at it from a Western mindset.
Yeah. Technical talks to take place, but the respite after the signing was short-lived, with Washington and Tehran seemingly adopting different interpretations of the language used in the interim agreement. Tussle over the Strait reignited, with Trump declaring the ceasefire as over, while at the NATO summit in Turkey on July 8, days of consecutive tit-for-tat strikes marked a resumption of the war that has stretched on for over 5 months. When the ceasefire collapsed, the U.S. reimposed its naval blockade on Iranian ports in the Strait. U.S. Central Command CENTCOM said that on August 9th, it has redirected 55 commercial vessels, disabled 2, and boarded 2 to ensure in compliance. Before Iran's conditions landed, VP Vance was asked Saturday whether Tehran maintaining a tighter grip over the Strait would be an acceptable status quo. Interesting. Our expectation is
wait. Would you read that again? I'm sorry. I think I'm hearing things. Can you
whether Tehran maintaining a tighter grip over the Strait would be an acceptable status quo? You don't have a choice. They're going to maintain a tight grip on it forever.
It's
forever.
Theirs. This is the caucasity. This is such caucasity. This would be as if Iran was trying to figure out how to control what comes and goes up the Mississippi River or what goes up the Hudson or any of that's how absurd it is for us to debate how much control they should have over their water. This is not international water, which even if it was, it's still none of our fucking business all the way over there. But this is fascinating that these people are actually legitimately thinking that Iran shouldn't just completely control what's completely theirs.
Correct. But again, this is what happens when you think you are the world's hegemon, still, to the extent that it was, let's say 25 years ago. It's just not. Iran can't completely close the Strait of Hormuz, but the U.S. can't completely open it. This is according to Kalanick again. The U.S. is using the military power to get some oil through, but not all of the oil to replace what was lost through the Strait. You're never going to get it again. So you better start making adjustments.
And wait a minute, and this is misleading too. This is misleading too. No, Iran has never completely closed the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz has never been completely closed. It's been closed to us. Other countries and people that are not aligned with the Zionist entity have been able to go this is, but because of our blockade, they haven't been. So we're basically punishing the other countries who are allowed to go through the Strait, even though they're not the ones in charge of the strait.
Yeah,
Seriously,
this is what's
like
happening.
it's ridiculous.
Mehdi, I don't know where the hell you've been. I hope it was a good vacation, but it's good to see you. We've seen some of our people
Oh,
have,
this
yeah.
is so ridiculous.
Scroll
Yeah,
down,
this is
please.
what I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying. Like if Iran decided to start making demands about what comes and goes out at the bottom at
That's
the
it.
Mississippi
Okay,
River.
that's it. Stop. Prior to the Iran war starting on February 28, 138 vessels typically pass through the vital trade waterway during a 24-hour period. This pressure on global oil markets could eventually lead to a willingness from the Trump administration to give in to some of Iran's demands, just not necessarily the six issue. And again, when it's all said and done, you went from 138 to 13. 138 to 13. Let me tell you something. There will come a point where the tail will be between the legs, literally and figuratively. They will have no
And
choice.
And we everybody talks about how Trump keeps chickening out, like what he keeps threatening to like bomb their infrastructure, bomb them into, another century or whatever he's going to do.
That's what he
But
says.
yeah, it's what he says. But he, well, he might not know this, but the people in his regime know this, that if that were to happen, then that would be the end of all of the Gulf Arab states. They'd be done. They would cease to be able to be habitable because
Correct.
their infrastructure would be destroyed and people can't live there without desalination and electricity, especially in the months right now. It's uninhabitable.